Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Reina, and this video is in regards to my weekly recap and my real estate journey, and it's going to be talking about last week's journey. So like I stated before in a couple of my other videos, if you haven't joined in, I'm trying to do a weekly recap every week of kind of how everything went, what I did, how I stayed busy, and all of that good stuff. But I didn't get around to posting last week. It was a crazy busy week and the time just got away from me. So now I'm catching you guys up in terms of last week and what I did. But I hope to be posting more regularly and at least once a week. So I will have likely one more video uploaded for you guys. So it was a week of highs and lows, an emotional roller coaster, and definitely a lot of learning that happened during this week. So there's a lot of changes that have been happening in my office, and that kind of impacted everything that the way that I was learning. So I did another video a couple of weeks back actually, in regards to the brokerage I joined and how I was feeling there so far. So the first things that happened, which was kind of a horrible timing, and of course this wasn't something that I knew going in. It probably would have changed my decision, but everything worked out. So let me just explain. What ended up happening is that at the time that I joined my brokerage, I didn't know it at the time, and I'm not even sure if anyone really knew this was going to happen at the time, but they were about to lose two of the major people, that run the office. So one of them being the coach that trains all of the new hires. So the way that Keller Williams works is that when you join, they assign you a coach. Well, shortly after I joined, everything was going well. Like, I really found that system very useful, someone I could turn to when I had a question, all that good stuff. And all of a sudden, the person resigned from the position to pursue. They're still within the company in the same location, but their business is just really kicking off, their personal business. So they decided we're gonna cut this portion out of their lives to focus on theirs, which is fair, definitely. Happy for them. But then I was kind of like, this sucks, what's gonna happen to us? And then at the same time, the Keller Williams manager for our brokerage ended up leaving for another opportunity, still with Keller Williams, but outside of our office. So then there was a lot of change going on at the time, and with that, I think that when someone covers a program for so long, there's just a lot of things that they cover that no one really knows anymore, because they've been taking care of it for so long. So no one ever bothered to ask oh, who's gonna do this and check off this from the list and all of that stuff. So that's kind of what happened to people like me. Because I was relatively new, I'd only been with the brokerage about a month, I felt like I was falling through the cracks, and all of a sudden, all these questions that I had, or all these things that I had not yet learned, and who was I going to ask them to? So I was at the office. I started going to the office every day to kind of learn from other agents and just grow a little bit more and see what they're doing and see what works, see what I like. Sorry, my kitty's trying to get in the picture too. And then when I started going, I met up with another agent who was there just by chance, and I knew that she was new, because a newer agent as well, because when we were having the trainings, I saw her in some of the little, I saw her name in some of the Zoom meetings. So I approached her and I said, hey, you're a new agent too, right? I know that because I saw your name. And so she said, yes, So I asked her, how are you doing since, they stopped, doing the coaching? And she said, oh, I thought I was doing really good, but all of a sudden, it was just really hard, and I don't really know where I'm going, and I don't feel, so it really pretty much expressed to me that I wasn't the only one feeling this way. Even though good for everyone else because they are moving on to bigger and better things, what about us, the new people who were expecting to have this support and didn't have it? So I actually set up a meeting with the owner of the brokerage, and honestly, she was absolutely amazing. So I expressed my concerns, and she agreed, that she didn't that everything that I told her kind of gave confirmation that yes, she did need, that they needed to hire somebody else, that there needed to be another system in place, and that she would kind of in the back of her mind knew that we weren't getting the support that we were needing. but she just kind of, you know, was like, oh, no one said anything, maybe everything's okay. So I'm glad that I spoke out, because I mean, the next day there was change. So I'm still super happy with my brokerage, and now there's systems in place again, and everything is kind of getting the ball rolling, and that's really, really amazing, not just for me, but for every other agent that perhaps felt that way but hadn't really expressed it out loud, or maybe hadn't even realized how they felt yet. So I was really happy that I was able to help myself out and speak out for something that I felt like I wasn't getting, especially because I think that anyone, if you're ever considering joining real estate, you want to join a brokerage that you feel has your back, because especially if you're new, 100% new to the field and have nobody in the business, they're going to be your go-to for everything. So if you feel like you can't even come with them, you know, to them with a little problem or a suggestion, then that's probably not going to be the best fit for you. That's not going to be where you're going to feel comfortable asking questions. You're going to be comfortable growing there. So I'm really glad that I spoke out on that, and I'm super impressed by how quickly my concerns were handled. By the next day, you know, some of the things that I had addressed, I needed help with this. I mean, she was there, she was helping me, you know, the actual owner, and I know how busy she is because she runs a huge team in our area, and she was sitting there giving me the time to train me through things that I felt like I needed help with, and she got me the help that I needed. So I was super impressed, super happy. It only I guess gives me more like, yes, I made the right choice, this is the correct choice for me. So I'm really happy about that. Another exciting thing that happened was that I got my first buyer consultation. So I was extremely happy. Somebody wrote me, so through Keller Williams, they put you on a list. So when somebody's looking for an agent in your area, your name is one of the ones that pops up, in addition to many others. Well, this person chose me out of like everyone that came up there, which I was so happy, and I was a little bit like, whoa, you know. So then when they chose me, we set up an appointment, and you know, I gave them the whole buyer consultation, and I bought this bad boy to do my presentation. So this is my first real like buyer presentation, even though I'd done my buyer presentation a while ago. I did it through Canva, and it's really nice. I actually purchased a template off Etsy because I had no clue how to start. So it looks like this, but then I ended up not, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it out. So I ended up never doing it, you know, because I had no clients yet. So once I was getting ready to present, I thought, what would be the best way? And I was thinking maybe printing it out. But honestly, I felt that the digital platform would be better. It's more environment friendly. Also, if I ever needed to edit something, it'd be quicker. I don't have to worry about, oh, I wrinkled it. Oh, I have to get to printers before they close. And it's just always there and available, and I can adjust it based on every client's need without having to worry about anything else. So this is kind of what it looks like, and I'm going to pull it up for you guys. So the way Canva works, if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of a presentation tool, and it's really nice. Like, it gives you, you can push presentation on there and just go from page to page, and I think that's the end of presentation. But as I'm talking, I can just kind of hold it for the clients and all that good stuff. So it's really nice. I really am happy with this purchase, and I'm going to be using it for a lot more things. Like, I'm going to be kind of using this instead of my phone, so that it will be only for business. So I purchased this, and so I gave the presentation. Amazing people, super kind, and I felt like I did great because I've been rehearsing since I wanted to be knowledgeable. This is what I've really been doing, like rehearsing, just kind of saying where my, you know, what I'm gonna say, repeating it to myself, recording myself, and just getting ready for when I finally had a client. So I got the opportunity, and it was a great, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect couple to go ahead and present to, because they were super nice. All of the questions, you know, they gave me, and he had a list, you know, of things that he wanted to cover. I felt like I addressed really quickly, and everything was amazing. But it sucks because I did not get picked. And so what ended up happening is, you know, these people had already had a pre-approval, 2 pre-approvals, and they were trying to get a 3rd one. So I connected them with the mortgage lender in our place, because that's who they wanted to try and all of that. But everything seemed to go amazing. They didn't sign the buyer's rep yet, and they'd had previously a bad experience when their parents bought about a year ago with a Keller Williams agent. So I'm surprised they even came to a Keller Williams office to try and get another agent. Here goes my kitty again. So when they came, you know, they kind of mentioned, I said, you know, we don't have to buy it yet, you can think it over, which probably was a mistake on my end, but I don't want to work with anybody who doesn't want to work with me. So what ended up happening is a couple days later, or actually the next day later, they wrote me an email and they said, hey, we were just wondering, how many properties have you sold? And I'm a completely new agent, so of course the answer to that is 0. But with practicing my scripts, I know what to say, right? And I feel like if this had been something that was addressed in person, which it kind of was, so I did tell him that I came from an educational background and that I was a full-time agent. And we even talked about how being a person that is kind of new to the business was to my advantage, because a person that's handling like 40 cases, 40 people that they're trying to help at the moment, is not going to have the same availability as someone like me that, hey, you're my only client. My time is all yours. You want to go see this house? Let's go, right? So we even talked about that kind of advantage. Well, the next day when they wanted to know how many properties I sold, I can't remember what I wrote back, but I wrote something along the lines like, hey, up until this point, I've only done leasing, but I wanted to let you know that I do work with an amazing team here. My brokerage backs me 100%, and I have access to a multitude of agents that are super knowledgeable and ready to help me in anything. You know, I can't remember how I worded it exactly, but it was something along those lines. So they never replied, and you know, that was really discouraging, because I felt like in regards to being there in person, I completely nailed it. Like, I know I did. Everything was awesome. You know, I could answer all their questions. Like, I walked them through the whole process. They knew they gained a better understanding. Coming from an educational background, being a teacher, I know how to explain things. I know how to break it down, to simplify things so that people understand. So it was just very discouraging. And you know, that day I kind of felt like it's like a never-ending cycle, because you want to get a client and you want to get experience, but no one will hire you because you don't have experience, you know. But it's not something new to me, because this is pretty much every career I've ever done, right? When you first start off, you have to kind of win that credibility. So you haven't done anything yet, and it's hard to get your foot in the door. So at least, you know, I know that much, having been through other careers in the past where I'm like, yeah, it's hard to get that first time, but afterwards it just is a little bit easier. So I didn't get that, and you know, my broker, so I went to a meeting with my broker then afterwards, and I wanted to just, you know, join and kind of hear what other people are saying. And you know, you never know when somebody needs to hear it, but that day her words were just like so perfect to what I needed to hear. So she just kind of told me that she noticed that I've been going to the office, and that she was really just interested in seeing all the things that I'm going to accomplish, because she said that she really felt that I was doing all the right things, and that I had the right attitude, and that she knew I was gonna go places. And of course she didn't know anything that happened like that morning, but those words, I mean, really made a difference in my day, in my outlook. So goes to show you that you never know who needs to hear it. So if you ever have something that you feel like, oh, I don't know if I should say something or acknowledge, go ahead and do, because that can make a big difference. I mean, that made a difference in my day and kind of my perspective. Then I thought, okay, gotta keep going. So I did get my first listing, and it was something else that I've been working on for quite a minute. So my sister, who is absolutely amazing, actually has a property that's out a couple of about an hour and a half from where we live, and she's had this property for a couple of years now, and is definitely not interested in ever living out there. And since the economy is doing well, she decided she wanted to list it. So I'm so eternally grateful for her, and the fact that she entrusted me with something like this, because yes, she's my sister, and she probably would do it no matter what, because she loves me, and that's just the kind of supportive family that I have. But she absolutely had no need to, right? There's probably somebody who's more experienced, but I'm going to take care of her 100%, because, you know, obviously she's my sister, but then also she trusted me and gave me my first chance, which is something that in this field is kind of hard to get, right? So I was able to get her listing going, and it's right now currently in the MLS, and I'm so excited, and I'm looking forward to that. So I did get my first listing, and even though I know it would, like, it's my sister and she gave it to me, I'm really excited and super motivated that, okay, good things are coming. So another thing that I did was I joined a book club. I told you guys that in the previous video. So still doing that and still learning a little bit every day, which I'm gonna film another video where it kind of ties in more in regards to the book club, because it's more just about life and it's applying these concepts to your life, which I feel this week's and the chapter that I cover apply to just anyone's life, even if you're not looking into real estate. So I will be talking a little bit about that more in my later videos. So I continued with my book club. Like I said, I've been going to the office a little bit more. I started cold calling a lot more, and one neat thing that happened, so in my cold calling, I kind of focused on geo leads. So it's just calling and letting people know that I work in real estate, if there's anything I can do with them, if they have any needs, save my number, that I love to touch base and all that good stuff. And one of the persons that I called, it was just a random cold call, and she ended up saying, hey, yeah, you know, I want to learn more. It's a young lady, and she asked me, I want to know more about real estate. I may be interested in the career. So I said, oh, well, I can definitely help you. You know, I have a couple of videos you might be able to benefit from learning from my experience. So that was nice. And then she's also texted me and said, hey, do you know of anyone hiring? Because I think right now she just really wants a job. So I was able to call my boss and get her an interview for a front desk position. So I thought, you see, those are the things that, I mean, you're there to help in any way, shape, or form, right? So what I did is I met this young lady, we talked all day, we actually got on a phone call a little bit later that day as well, and I just kind of started coaching her. Coming from a high school, middle school setting, I definitely like understood a lot of the things that she was going through and a lot of the difficulties that you face when you're a student and not very disciplined, because she'd been through college previously, but kind of was having a hard time balancing with work and school, and just giving her a reset, giving her a new outlook, and then connecting with somebody who could possibly help her in terms of getting a job. And you know, she said, you know, I'll always be thankful for that random phone call that you just happened to call, and that you were able to help me, you know, even maybe get her a job. And I said, you know, no problem. You know, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And the way that you can help me one day is if you ever know of anyone that is trying to buy or sell home, please refer them to me. And I know that when she says she will, because hopefully I've made a difference in her life. Sorry, my kitty is just trying to get in the action. So that was really a nice experience that I got, and I'm really happy that I got to share something like that, you know, with somebody who I didn't know, have absolutely, you know, right now there's no benefit in me, and maybe one day that will come back around for helping her, you know. So just so you know that connections can happen anywhere and everywhere, right? And they don't necessarily need to be like who can give me business right here right now, but just go out there and help and do your best and be a good person, and maybe that will come back when you need it, right? So then another thing that I did, it was, like I said, focusing on cold calling more. I did door knocking. I did door knocking on Saturday morning, and I went around a neighborhood here close to my house, and I kind of introduced myself. And some people actually expressed like, oh good, so I'm looking to move in a couple of months, so we'll be in touch. And other people said, you know, not now, but maybe in a couple of years I'm gonna try and sell this home. Or so I did find that was very useful. People were very nice, I think, because you're there, and it's just harder to be rude to somebody in person versus on the phone. People can sometimes be rude. They're just like, quit calling, bam, you know. So I definitely feel that I like door knocking, except the only caveat to that is that we're in Texas and it's super hot, so I have to wake up and do that early. And but I did enjoy it. So I went door knocking and a lot of training. So I did go to training here with Keller Williams and all of that good stuff, and just trying to make connections, trying to learn, meeting up with a couple other agents that might be able to give me some of the things that they don't want, like rentals, and trying to give me people who maybe are buyers. A lot of experienced agents are not trying to work with buyers right now, because you have to submit like 10 offers for somebody for the possibility of maybe getting selected. So it's just not a lot of fun, and since they don't need the business, they're like, yeah, I'll give it on to you as long as you give me a referral fee. So connecting with them and finding new ways to advertise and do all of that good stuff. So that really kept me busy, and I felt like it was a really productive week in regards to making connections, meeting people, getting my name out there. And I started another project, which I'm going to talk about probably in my other video, because it's more like a way for me to network, but also a way for me to connect with people who are in similar situations like me. So I'm going to talk about it in a separate video because I don't want to really get into that topic here in real estate. But I'm excited to share with you guys what I can in regards to real estate, and hopefully I'll be getting more behind the scenes here shortly. It's really hard to film at the office because I've tried, and it's still a little awkward to just be taping and having like real life and other agents and all that stuff. So I try to just run it through and give you a recap, but that's kind of the way it's going to be for now. But I'm trying to work out a way where I can film and not be disruptive to anybody else, because sometimes a lot of stuff is going on in our office. So I hope you enjoyed this content and you guys have an amazing day. And if you watch this far, thank you so much. And I'm gonna be posting another video here soon, so you guys have a great day, and hopefully we'll see each other on the next video. Have a great one. Bye bye.